This time I'd like to call upon Michael Scalf, General Manager of Northeast District of the Customer Service Division TVA, for his report. Michael?
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be with you here at this annual meeting, and I'm fortunate this is my 10th year to come give TVA's report, and that's quite an honor. First comment would be Chairman and the board and the entire staff and Greg Williams, congratulations on a very, very successful year. This has been an unusual year. We're much like farmers. The weather really determines a lot about our income, and we've had some struggles this year with mild weather, and this board has been challenged like all to keep the finances in order, and they have done that. So has TVA. Quick comment on TVA. A couple of years ago, we tried to break everything down into 6 areas, and that is our rates, our reliability, getting the power to you, our responsibility as an agency to the community we serve, cleaner air, more nuclear power, and energy efficiency and demand response. I was advised this morning, I don't need to go any further than the next comment. The TVA board voted in August to freeze rates for another year, so the base rate in TVA will not go up. And that's always good news. Most of you know there's 2 components. There's the base rate, and then there's the fuel cost adjuster. Second good news, this year the fuel cost adjuster has been about 4 or 5% less than it was last year. So on the rate front, we're having a good year, and we have a good year ahead, but are we satisfied? We are not. We at TVA, when we compare ourselves with 100 utilities comparable to us, we want to be in the lowest 25%, low quartile. We're closer to about 30. So we're not happy, and we're going to continue with our diet and exercise programs and other measures. We look like hopefully around 2016 we'll come back in to that lowest quartile of rates, and that we're not going to stop until we get there. One reason we're not there, we're probably further ahead on clean air, and I'll talk a little bit about that in a moment. So rates, check that off, had a good year, looks like a good year coming up in front of us. Reliability. TVA continues to be in the lowest decile, the top 10% of the industry, and keeping the lights on. I know we're promoting this as entering our 13th year of 5 nines, and that is 99.999% reliability. Well, what does that mean? That means that Greg Williams stations where we deliver power to, they can expect about 4 minutes a year that they will not be receiving electricity. That's on average across the system. Again, top 10 there. We have challenges there. You're going to read a lot. Our FERC and other regulators have really pushed up reliability with clearing of trees, and you're going to see a lot of articles. We have a more aggressive tree cutting program to reduce outages in the future, so we still have a lot in front of us there. Responsibility, here's the most important thing I can say about TVA this year. Number 1, we had no fatalities, and number 2, we had no major injuries. And what I really am glad to say is Greg Williams can make that same statement. And I know this is the 10th time I've addressed this, and I've never talked about that, and that's not right. I know linemen, I don't know if there are any linemen here, but they are first responders. We just recognized 9/11 anniversary not long ago, and there was a lot of talk about first responders, policemen and firemen. Well, you and your cooperative have first responders, and they're the linemen, and they do very dangerous work. Probably 2 of the most dangerous occupations in this country they perform, and the tree cutters. So express that appreciation, and I congratulate Appalachian for running a safe program. We can be a little bit high in rates. You can forgive us that. If our people don't come home at the end of the shift, at the end of the day, then we're not doing our job, but we are, and we celebrate that. Next item is cleaner air. I know it's kind of interesting. This week, the dedication of the John Sevier combined cycle plant occurred. And it's very interesting if you look at the amount of reduction of emissions in that transition from coal to natural gas is phenomenal. Interesting, and right now we're in election season and you see a lot of information about the EPA and cost and coal. It's all good stuff, but the reality of it right now is moving to natural gas is not just for cleaner air and EPA regulations. We have natural gas dispatching cheaper than coal, and who would have thought that some years ago? But I just thought I would give you a few statistics on that, if I can find them here. Yeah, in 2007, 57% of our generation came from coal. Today, 32%. Natural gas was providing 1%. Today, 11%. So we're seeing a transition from coal to natural gas, and as you know, that can always switch back, and that's one thing TVA provides, and that is that balanced portfolio. One other comment on rates, and 1940 is typically when most cooperatives formed in and around then. We were looking the other day when I was up at Mountain, electricity cost 2 cents in 1940. Today it costs 9 per kilowatt hour. Gasoline was 16 cents. Today it's $3.60 some. A loaf of bread was a dime. Today it's $1.42. So I think the electricity industry has done a great job managing its cost. But there's a side of this that you own. Everybody knows that electricity is a function of the cost or the rate and the amount used. Well, the amount used in 1940, a typical home used 113 kilowatt hours. Today, that's 1,329. That's a 12-time increase in the amount of electricity that a normal, typical family use. So we have energy efficiency programs. We have a new rate structure, which I'm very glad to say that Greg Williams and Bill Underwood for the last 4.5 years have invested an enormous amount of time for the entire valley in getting us to a rate structure to where for those of you that would prefer to use electricity at a cheaper rate at a different time of the day, you can do that. So that has been a large effort to get 155 power distributors on board with that. We just basically this last week celebrated getting that. Last couple of comments, Watts Bar 2, we have a very good solid design program for that. When that will come online, when Watts Bar 2 comes online, minus our hydro generation where fuel is free, it will be the lowest dispatched electricity in our fleet. Once again, congratulations to this board, to the staff, and its management, and look forward to seeing you next year.